We just got the April jobs and unemployment report number, and it came in lower than expected in terms of the amount of jobs gained, coming in at 175,000 compared to the 240,000 estimated. And the unemployment rate actually ticked up from 3.8% to 3.9%. This shows that the job market is starting to weaken. And then we also had wage gains actually lower than estimated for month over month and year over year. Although this sounds bad on the surface that the job market's starting to weaken, this is something that the Federal Reserve wants to see because they want to see economic growth start to decelerate a little bit in order to keep a lid on inflation. So this is something that they're most likely happy about, and is why stock futures are up across the board over 1% this morning. So this is something that they want to see, and Jerome Powell probably had this information during his press conference, and why he was a little bit more dovish than expected, at least according to my opinion. So that's good news. The job and labor market front. This is finally something that the Federal Reserve wants to see. And then I also wanted to touch briefly on Apple earnings. This was an earnings report that beat expectations. The guidance for the second quarter was better than expected, and the China numbers were better than feared. We thought China numbers were going to be worse, and the China numbers were better than feared. And Apple announced a $110 billion buyback. This is the biggest buyback in history. And Tim Cook also mentioned his plans about artificial intelligence, and they have an advantage because of all the privacy that they use. So Apple stock's doing really well. Lifting the big tech market combined with the lower than expected amount of job gains is helping the stock market, at least stock futures this morning. And it is counterintuitive. Why would a lower amount of job openings than expected warrant a stock market increase? It's because that's what the Federal Reserve unfortunately wants to see in order for them to deliver more liquidity in the system, and perhaps rate cuts this year. Maybe it brings a rate cut back onto the table for 2024. We shall see. But overall, this is something we have to watch. But I think this is something that the Federal Reserve wants to see.